Coaches, Rick Stewart of All Access Coaching. I'm really excited to bring you this free video, and make sure you hit the subscribe and like button down below. It gives us valuable data as far as what coaches want. And also, if I can get to 1,000 subscribers, I'll start doing weekly YouTube clinics for free. And if you hit the like and subscribe button, you'll get notified when we upload new content. We're uploading 3 or 4 videos every week. So real quick, years ago, Tim Murphy had a big influence on me, and we were just a kind of a brain dead 4-4 spot drop cover 3, really simple to install. And I really fell in love with this 4-2-5 concept. And these next few slides is going to be why. You know me, I always come from the standpoint about practice. How do we install it? How easy is it? How do we get it in? So this is the Gary Patterson, the Texas Christian concept, the divorce concept, right? Where your front 6 are completely divorced from your back 5. So in our minds, and this was hard for me, we have to get our outside backers, we have to think of them as safeties. They are now lettuce eaters. And so anybody in the red box that's blitzing or stunting, it does not affect our coverages. Our coverages do not have to be married to anything the guys in the red box are doing. They're completely divorced. Now, if we bring those edge guys, those are safety blitzes. They're not outside linebacker blitzes. And since they're a defensive back, then we do have to have some coverage adjustments behind it. But I really like that. That really simplified our game planning and our calling. And then the other thing is really for practice, we split the field in half, and the guys on the left side only worry about the left side, and the guys on the right side only worry about the right side. So it makes it easy for us to enter stuff into quick cuts, into our formations, because we only have like 9 words, and because we're only worried about the left or the right, we're not trying to match it all together. And it really lowers Johnny's anxiety, right? Because we tell Johnny, hey, you only need to worry about your side. And these are the only things that can happen on your side. I know I have a lot of time to get into it, but basically think about it. What can they do? There could be a receiver out there. There could be a tight end out there. Like here, we got a tight end receiver that's pro. You could have 2 receivers. You could have 3 receivers. And then Johnny's like, that's it, coach. That's it. And then once I get them into those alignment boxes, from there we say, okay, 1 receiver, what's your run fits? What's your coverage? All right, tight end receiver, what's your run fits? What's your coverage? And it makes the teaching go really fast and really easy. And it gives the kid a lot of confidence because he doesn't feel overwhelmed. Now let's get into our reads, what Chris is on. It is called a read and react defense. We are truly reading, reacting. My buddy Paul Gola kind of gave me this idea of figure out what's the 3 or 4 things that can happen in front of that football player, and then get really good at that. Don't overload their brain with all this other stuff. They just got their world to worry about. There's a guy in front of them that wants to block them. There's a guy on each side that wants to block them, and then there's a running back. So really break this down into the smaller parts. So getting with the wing T. One of the things that give me the most problem in the wing T is head up linemen. Okay. We are a gap defense. And I think this would even be true with the spread tees because, you're always telling your kids, what gap to worry about. But when we're head up, it starts really changing the rules because the gap down backer rule, doesn't apply. And the offensive linemen, they don't know which gap that we're going to slant in, if we're going to slant at all. So one of the things that give me the most problem is head up lineman, which is why I fell in love with this front, which I got from Harry Welch down in Southern Cal when he won the first 3 state championships out of the gate in California. And I burned a sick day and went and spent a day with him. And I've always kept this front. Okay. We are not an odd front though. And we're not 2 gapping. I'm going to get to that in a second. We are not 2 gapping. It is still, we're lining up in an odd look. But as soon as the ball snapped, we get into an even look. I'll explain that in a second. But I want to point out that the head-up linemen really give wing T teams the most problems. Okay? All right. The other thing that Harry really opened my eyes to was uncovered guards. If you have this 3-tech, have this D-tackle as a 3-tech and he's shading the guard, well, that guard could step out and block the 3-tech on both runs and passes. So you're not getting a really clean run read. Same thing here. If I go move this guy as a 2-eye, I'm not really sure what the guard's doing.
But here, think about it. If it's a running play, the guard is going to very aggressively go get somebody. He has to very aggressively go attack somebody if it's a run. And if it's a pass, he's definitely going to drop back and get his head on a swivel because he's been told to help, both gaps. Both guards are really going to pop their head up and get their head on a swivel. The uncovered linemen really cleaned things up for us when we went to this. And all of our interior players, our Falcon, our 2 inside backers, and our 2 D tackles, they're reading the guards. The guys on the edges are reading the in-man line of scrimmage. Okay, so that was a big deal. All right, Coach just asked this question. What are we reading? What we want to do is as soon as the ball snapped, we're going to take a step into our gap. So as soon as the ball snapped, that my head up tackle is going to end up being a 4-eye, and my head up nose guard is going to be a 1 shade. As soon as the ball snapped. So as soon as the ball snapped, we are now in an even alignment. We're going to sting half a man. So if I'm that D tackle, my left arm is going to go on the V of the neck, and my right arm is going to go on his inside shoulder. I'm going to sting half a man, and I'm going to get eyes inside. So the tackle's eyes immediately snap to the guard. The nose guard immediately snaps to the left guard. That's a very quick read. As soon as the guard does something, that gets me moving in the right direction, and then I find the backfield. We don't have our eyes glued to the guard for very long. Same with the linebackers. All the guards do is get us moving in the right direction, get our body moving in the right direction, and then we pick up the ball. So, and alignment doesn't change assignment. So if we move those guys head up on the guards, they would still take a step inside, sting half a man, and they would read the guards. I'll go over that in a second too, because the stacking the guards, I think, is a really good strategy against wing T teams. So let's kind of go through this right here. So if we got that scenario there, right, that would be, well, not really a wing T thing. That would really be like belly to the tight end side or just a straight dive. Probably this would be more like in the flex bone type of stuff with their zone dive concept. So with this right here, the tackle, remember, stepped inside. So his helmet, that's what this black dot is. His helmet, he's got to beat the man across and get his helmet inside. And if they're doubling the nose, we tell our tackle, pitch a tent. Pitch a tent because the ball's coming right here, okay? The nose guard took a step, and anytime your guard goes and gets linebacker, that could be a lot of things. So if you step and your eyes on the guard and the guard leaves to go get a linebacker, find flow. Find the running backs, okay? The tackle doesn't need to find the running backs. If they're doubling that nose guard, pitch a tent, Johnny, the ball's coming, okay? Now, the nose guard, if the flow is going to go away from him, he would cross face and try to split that double team. We are not going to run up field and try to go around the double team. Now, our nose guard's at a disadvantage. I've got him stepping in the wrong direction for this double team. So really what's going to happen is probably he's going to just having to grab grass and let somebody else make the tackle, okay? Every defense has those weaknesses, and by us stepping weak, we are vulnerable to that double team. So I always believe you practice what your weaknesses of the defense are. Practice that the most, okay? So that's kind of a basic read there. If they inside release, that's a big no-no. Nobody inside releases. We're going to step and get our hands on that guy. There. We're going to step and get our hands on that guy so this line doesn't exist. If he doesn't step and get his hands on this guy and this guy gets a linebacker, that's a -2. We grade our players. I told the players, the people that came and heard me last night, if you email me, I'll send you our Excel grade sheets of how we grade our players. Okay, so that's a big no-no. Nobody gets to the linebackers. We're going to get our hands on those shoulder pads and push that tackle into the center. If the nose guard steps and the guard pulls, that's immediately cross face and fight like hell to get over there. Now, we are a near shoulder team. So when our tackle steps down, okay, first of all, the guard won't even kick him out because if our tackle is doing our job, we've got hands on their tackle and we are driving him into the center. So what happens is the guard pulls they see the two tackles hands on each other, and the guard thinks my teammate's messing up and blocking the kickout man. And then the guard runs right past the kickout man. Of course, what's the right tackle doing? He's fighting like hell to get to that backer. So what ends up happening is this D tackles just stand there and tackles the fullback on guard trap. Okay? So that's really what we want it to look like and blow that up. You know what? If you wanted to wrong shoulder it, it's totally okay. I've had some D-line coaches that were real adamant about it, and I let them teach only the two interior guys to wrong shoulder. And then we just had to adjust our linebacker fits a little bit. But Tim Murphy's the one that kind of convinced me of this, is if you wrong shoulder, you're taking that player out of the play. Like if he wrong shoulders, he can't make the tackle. But if you near shoulder and really get aggressive, then the running back's going to bounce it. If you close the hole near shoulder, you're going to make the running back bounce it. So what ends up happening is the puller, the kickout man, pushes you into the tackle. So I don't lose a guy now. The guy that's getting kicked out actually could make the tackle on the bounce play. Obviously, if they pull, gone Johnson. So as soon as that guard pulls, our D tackle's gone. He does not sting half a man. He does not put hands on the right tackle. That guard pulls. He goes down the line. Down the line. He doesn't get in the backfield and chase in the backfield. Remember, we're a moving wall. Go down the line. That nose guard's already stepping that way, so he gets his helmet, split him. Some people say, near shoulder and split him. We call it a birth canal move. We tell him to put his helmet right between their two rib cages and push out like a baby coming out of the birth canal. And split that double team. Split that double team. Okay? Remember, pulling down the line.
Coaches, I really hope you got some great information from that YouTube video. Again, hit the subscribe and like button down below. It gives us valuable data. And if I get to 1,000 subscribers, I'll do free YouTube clinics. And you also get notified when I'm doing those YouTube clinics and when I upload new content to this channel. Thanks for watching, coaches.